Imagine you are a small business owner in Ohio. You sell t-shirts, you source them locally, you pay your taxes, you follow the rules. Now imagine a competitor who pays zero import duties. Zero. Who can produce a shirt for $2 and ship it directly to your customer's door? Who can copy your best-selling design in 3 days and sell it for half your price? That competitor is not playing fair. They are not playing by the same rules. And they are not breaking any laws. They are exploiting a loophole so large, so outdated, and so perfectly engineered for the modern age that it has effectively killed Western retail from the inside out. This is the story of the de minimis loophole. This is the story of Shein and Temu, the legal loophole. Let me take you back to 1938. The United States created a rule called de minimis. It meant that low-value shipments could enter the country without paying import duties. The threshold was set so low that it only applied to things like a tourist bringing back souvenirs. Fast forward to 2016. The threshold was raised to $800. The idea was to help e-commerce move faster. What actually happened was that a billion-dollar loophole was carved open. Here's how it works. Shein and Temu ship individual packages directly to customers. Each package is valued under $800. That means each package avoids import taxes entirely. Traditional retailers importing containers full of goods pay duties. Shein and Temu pay nothing. According to US Customs data, nearly 2 million packages enter the country every single day under this exemption. The majority come from China. The majority come from 2 companies. Shein and Temu are not just using the loophole. They are the loophole. The algorithm of destruction. But avoiding taxes is only half the story. The real weapon is the supply chain. Traditional fashion works like this. Designers predict trends months in advance. They produce large batches. They ship to warehouses. They distribute to stores. If they guess wrong, they hold sales. If they guess very wrong, they burn inventory. Shein does not guess.
We offer thousands of new items per day.
Shein runs thousands of small batches every single day. Their AI monitors social media, search trends, and competitor sites in real time. When a pattern emerges, their designers copy it.
Shein's designs originate with Shein designers and with our Shein X third-party designers.
When a product sells, they produce more. When a product stalls, they kill it. The entire cycle takes 3 to 5 days. That is not fast fashion. That is ultra-fast fashion. And it has changed the economics of clothing forever. Traditional retailers hold inventory for months. Shein holds inventory for hours. Traditional retailers mark up to cover unsold stock. Shein produces exactly what the algorithm says will sell. The result is a machine that never stops. 50,000 new products every week. Millions of packages crossing borders every day. And no import taxes on any of them. The human cost. Now let me ask you something uncomfortable. How does a t-shirt cost $2? Not the retail price. The cost to produce it. The answer is not efficiency. The answer is not technology. The answer is labor. China has a region called the Pearl River Delta. Millions of workers live there in factory dormitories. They work 12 to 16-hour shifts. They earn a few $100s per month. They have no unions, no bargaining power, and no other options.
Shein has faced accusations of worker abuse.
Taylor Shein is in hot water once again.
The brand has recently come under fire.
Shein's on-demand business model is not the only reason why its products are so cheap. It's also benefiting from cheap labor in China.
Shein's supply chain is built on this workforce. Dozens of factories compete for orders. They bid against each other. They drive prices down. They cut corners. They push workers harder. And when a worker breaks, there are 10 more waiting outside the gate. This is not a bug. This is the feature. The entire business model depends on labor being treated as a disposable input. Temu operates on a different model, but with the same logic. Their platform connects Western consumers directly to Chinese manufacturers. The goods are produced on demand. The prices are impossibly low. The quality is irrelevant because the transaction is designed to be one time. You are not buying a sweater. You are buying a dopamine hit. It arrives in a plastic bag. It falls apart in 3 washes. You throw it away. You order another one. The cycle continues. The race to the bottom. Here is what this does to local economies. A small clothing store in Kansas cannot compete with Shein. They cannot avoid taxes. They cannot produce $2 shirts. They cannot launch 50,000 new products every week. So they close. An apparel manufacturer in North Carolina cannot compete with Chinese factories. They cannot pay workers less than minimum wage. They cannot operate in unregulated buildings. They cannot ignore environmental laws. So they close. A logistics company in Texas cannot compete with the USPS losing money on every Temu package. They cannot ship a 3-pound package across the country for $2. So they adjust. They raise prices. They lose customers. They shrink. This is what economists call a race to the bottom. Every competitor lowers their standards to match the lowest common denominator. Wages drop. Quality drops. The customer wins on price in the short term. Everyone loses in the long term. Is this sustainable? Let me give you a direct answer. No. Not because of ethics. Not because of labor conditions. Not because small businesses are dying. Because the math does not work. Shein was valued at $66 billion in 2022. That valuation was based on growth projections that assumed the de minimis loophole would remain open forever. It will not. The United States, the European Union, and other major economies are already moving to close the loophole. Forced labor bans are being enforced. Customs inspections are increasing. The $800 threshold is being debated in Congress. When the loophole closes, Shein's unit economics collapse overnight. That $2 shirt becomes a $4 shirt. That $4 shirt becomes a $6 shirt. The algorithm still works. The supply chain still works. But the price advantage disappears. And without the price advantage, Shein is just another fast fashion retailer. Competing against H&M, competing against Zara, competing against every other company that has decades of experience and billions in infrastructure. Temu faces the same problem. Their model depends on subsidized shipping and tax avoidance. Remove those 2 factors and the customer pays double. Remove those 2 factors and the impulse purchase disappears. The final analysis. Let me leave you with this. Shein and Temu are not evil because they are Chinese. They are not evil because they are successful. They are not even evil because they exploit loopholes. They are dangerous because they have exposed a fundamental weakness in global trade rules. The rules were written for a world that no longer exists. A world where containers crossed oceans and packages moved slowly. A world where $800 was a meaningful threshold. That world is gone. The companies that win in this new world will not be the ones with the best products. They will not be the ones with the best customer service. They will be the ones that exploit the gap between what the law says and what the law can enforce. That is the dark side of Shein and Temu. Not fast fashion, not labor abuses, not even the destruction of local retail. It is the proof that our systems are broken. And until we fix them, someone else will keep exploiting the cracks. The loophole is the business model. The loophole is the competitive advantage. The loophole is the only reason these companies exist at their current scale. And when the loophole closes, as it inevitably will, we will finally see what Shein and Temu really are. Not trillion-dollar disruptors, not the future of retail, just 2 companies that found a crack in the wall and ran through it as fast as they could, until the wall moved.